Good afternoon, everyone. This is Lee Lewis of Trader for Traders with the market update for Thursday, October 30th, 2025. What is going on today? Obviously had some big reports come out from the Bank of Canada and from the Fed. Those dominated the headlines today. Brad is going to do an updated video a little bit later this afternoon, a little bit later in the morning his time, going in depth about what the releases mean for the mid to short term coming up for us. But just want to kind of go over what I'm seeing today. I typically don't trade days like this because the market's just too volatile. There isn't liquidity in the market when we have these big releases coming out. So the Fed cut rates, that was predicted. Looks like Powell came out and said that because of uncertainties in the economy and a lack of data, future cuts are not guaranteed. So the market didn't like that statement, as we can see. If we take a look at the equities, as they come up here, you can see they gave up their gains. Here's the Dow down here, S&P 500 down, NASDAQ right about to break even. One thing we notice here is that the 10-year bond interest rates skyrocketed or spiked upwards. So that's just a clear sign that the market didn't like what Powell had to say. And you can see too that after Powell came out and made his statements, the VIX has gone up, not substantially, but it's gone up about 3% for the day when it had been on a downtrend. So what does that mean for the currencies? Well, from my perspective, not a whole lot. I think looks like we had some spikes to the downside against the dollar. Looks like dollars generally got stronger. Based off of that, we have a spike here in the dollar index. It's up against the Canadian dollar, up against the yen, up against the Swiss, and up against all the other US-based currencies, the euro, sterling, Aussie, and the Kiwi. So what I tend to take a look at these, I see, okay, we've had these big announcements come out. Bank of Canada, Fed, we have BOJ later today. We have the European market coming out with their release about 6 a.m. my time, about 3 a.m. my time on the west coast of the U.S. I won't be trading until all of those come out and we hear all the comments and give the market a chance to reset, figure out what all that means, and move forward from there. Volatility is going to be low, and price action is going to be real whippy around those, and I don't see any sustained moves unless something comes out that's completely untoward. But what we're anticipating is that the BOJ is going to be maintaining its interest rate. We're predicting it to keep it at 0.5%. No changes there. Sometimes the BOJ does something wacky. We do have a new PM in Japan who is very conservative. It's been encouraging the BOJ to go back to a weak yen. So we don't know if the BOJ is going to cave to that pressure. And lower rates could keep them the same. Could decide to act a bit rebellious and raise the rate just to say, hey, we're going to make our own decisions. You never know what's quite going to happen around the yen. And the other interesting thing about the yen for traders who have never traded is that even though you can see here it's identified to come out at a specific time, it's 5:01 my time here, it's a tentative release. It could come out at any time. So you really can't trade it because it could come. You could be staring at the screens, hoping, blink it for a second, and then suddenly it's released and you've lost an opportunity. And then we have the euro. There is some good euro data coming out. We have the GDP, the German GDP coming out. We have some unemployment data coming out. We have consumer confidence, which is typically a pretty good number. But all of that is going to be dwarfed by the euro coming out with its press conference and its rate release and the upcoming press conference, which is 5:30 my time. So anything that any momentum that might have been gained by how a release might have come out from here is going to be overwhelmed by the press conference that's going to happen when Lagarde speaks at 6:45 my time on the West Coast. So basically, I'm not seeing much to trade here. I don't have any recommendations. I don't have any anticipated trades. I'm going to wait for all this to play out. And once it's done, take a look, come back to the screens, see what happens from that point on. But Brad will be following up my video today with a more in-depth video about the specifics and the details about what the Fed said, about what the BOC said, or anticipating seeing the BOJ and the ECB saying with relation to their rate. So I don't have any trades on. That's about it for me, and we'll wait to see what Brad has to say about the mid to short term effect of today's releases. Happy trading. Bye.